Hi, I'm Jim from Erieordnancejim, and I'm back to talk about the M4 carbine. You hear a lot about the M4 carbine, and I'm going to talk about what makes an M4 carbine an M4 carbine. Well, this isn't truly an M4 carbine. This is a civilian clone of an M4 carbine. It features that primarily make it a carbine or a collapsible stock and a short barrel. 16 inches is the minimum legal length for a barrel outside of getting a federal tax stamp for a short barreled rifle. First we're going to remove the magazine and activate the charging handle, pull it back, and look into the chamber to make sure that it's in fact empty. I'll push on the lower portion of the bolt catch assembly, and there we have it. We're certain that it's empty. We'll put it on safe. Now I can hit the top portion with my palm and the bolt slides home. With that we can disassemble this. Push this rear pin. I'll use a dummy bullet. Works really well. Remove the rear pin. Now the receiver separates into an upper and lower portion. This can be cleaned like this. Doesn't have to come completely apart, but to make it easier to clean, push the other front pin, remove it, and separate the lower from the upper. And you hear a lot about that with AR folks, the upper and the lower. Another feature of an M4 is it doesn't have a permanently attached carry handle like the M16A1 and the M16A2 version did. It has a Picatinny rail T marked, and they're called a T because T is the top of the rifle. Knight's Armament has developed the quad rail system that you see here that attaches to a standard carbine length handguard. And it has an R for R's for right, L's for left, B's for bottom, and T's for top. And just like your upper receiver has T slots that are numbered beginning with 2 and up. Here I have a backup iron sight mounted in the event that your kilometer sight or optic would fail. You would have an additional backup sight that would be usable if the need arose. This is primarily what makes it an M4. You have a carbine length gas system with this cut in the barrel. This cut in the barrel is intended for the end user to be able to mount an M203 grenade launcher to the bottom of the M4 carbine. The M4 carbine, like the M16A2, has the Burton bump. The Burton bump is a bump in the side, or a bulge in the side of the receiver, that acts as a brass deflector for left-handed shooters. We're going to continue to disassemble this by retracting the charging handle. Now we can slide the bolt assembly out. Here we have the bolt assembly. And then charging handle. The charging handle lifts back, and there is a slot that engages, and you can lift it out. It's pretty visible. There are 2 ears on each side of the charging handle, and those ears will drop into the slot in the receiver. Looking down into the receiver, you can see a gas tube. The gas tube interfaces with the carrier key on the top of the bolt carrier. So we have our charging handle assembly, our upper receiver assembly, our magazine assembly, and with our dummy bullet here, I will remove our buffer assembly. And the buffer has weights in there that give it the effect of a dead blow hammer to ensure that the bolt is seated fully. And pull the key out of the side of the bolt assembly. Drop the firing pin off the back and the bottom. Rotate the cam pin 90 degrees, remove it, and the bolt assembly should pull straight out. Now I can take the firing pin and use it to push out the extractor retaining pin. Pull that out, pull the extractor out, and there's a gold crane O-ring in there that surrounded the extractor spring. Okay, so how do you clean it? Well, good old cotton rags is part of the answer. The other part of the answer is to use good old-fashioned Q-tips. But more importantly is to get that chamber clean using a M16 chamber brush. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can find those numerous places on the internet. Places sell them. We carry them here at Erieordnancejim, and they're a must-have item. If you don't already have one, get a chamber cleaning brush. They're specially developed with phosphor bronze here, stainless steel here to really clean and scrub your locking lugs. I'll do another video strictly on the bolt assembly itself because that's a pretty detailed subject. We'll do a real quick reassembly here before we run out of time and move on to making our bolt video. Put it back together, stick a cam pin in, pull the bolt out, rotate it 90 degrees. Now the firing pin, clean this up, will hold that cam pin in place. And this retainer pin will hold the firing pin in place. Now remember the slots in the receiver. I'm going to drop the charging handle in, put the carrier in with the bolt extended, slide it all closed. The buffer assembly, put it in the spring and place it inside the receiver extension. I like to close the port door because that kind of keeps everything in there. Pins together. We'll do a quick function check. Cock, put it on safe. Doesn't fire, put it on fire. It fires. Close the port door. And we'll return the optic to its original mount location. This concludes this portion of the M4 cleaning video.